And Nabi said, yes. What? Nabi said he loved him.
Okay. I might when you are Jerusalem, stands for Jerusalem. Blessing of the Sabbath. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Asherah.
Asherah.
Nathanawa.
Nathanawa.
Hashabaf.
Hashabat.
Bashalom.
Bashalom.
Tawada.
Water.
Amun.
Amen.
English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, that gives to us a Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it. The Adim Ma'a Asherayim Akkad, Psalm 121. Anya, Rayam, Ayinimya, O, Haryam, Mahayan, Yabua'a, Isaiah, Yabua'a, Mayahawa, Shaisha, Shamayim, Warataza, La'a, Yonathan, Lamawat, Galia, Yala'a, Yanawam, Sashomarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayishan, Shashomar, Yashirala, Yahawa, Shemaya, Yahawa, Tazalia, Ayo, Yad, Yad, Yaobam, Ashamash, La'a, Akaya, Vayurat, La'a, Balayala, Yahawa, Yashimoya, Makal, Rai, Yashimor, Napasha, Yahawa, Yashimor, Aolakia, Babuaya, Maitha, Wa'ait, Aiwulam, Bahasham, Yahausha, Tawada, Aman.
Psalm 121. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Hear, O Israel. Shema Yasharala. Shema
Shammai,
Yasharala.
Yasharella,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Allah Hainawa.
Allahinawa,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Achad.
Cut,
Shema
Shammai,
Yasharala.
Yasharella,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Allah Hainawa.
Allahinawa,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Achad.
Cut,
Shema
Shammai,
Yasharala.
Yasharella,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Allah Hainawa.
Allahinawa,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Achad.
Cut. Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Amen.
Amen. Yahweh Tapala. Yahweh's prayer. Abiyanawa.
Abinawa,
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim,
Kodash.
Kodash,
Haya.
Haya,
Shamka.
Shamka,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Malakovka.
Melachwaka,
Taba'a.
Taba'a,
Ratazawanka.
Ratizawanka,
Haya.
Haya,
Aisha.
Aisha,
Ba'a Rataza.
Baratiza,
Ka.
Ka,
Bashamayim.
Bashamayim,
Atananawa.
Nethananawa,
Lacham.
Lakam,
Yawam.
Yawam,
Za.
Za,
Wasalaknawa.
Wasalaknawa,
Ka Wafnawa.
Hawawatinawa,
Kasalaknawa. Ka
Kasalaknawa,
Wafyanawa.
Hawawatinawa,
Wala'a.
Wala'a,
Abiyanawa.
Abiyanawa,
Oh.
Nasai 1,
Abo.
Abba,
Awashainawa.
Awashinawa,
Warai.
Marai,
Kaya.
Kaya,
Laka.
Laka,
Amalakwa.
Amalakwa,
Wa'ala.
Wa'ala,
Wataparat.
Watapara,
Laiulam.
Luaiwalam,
Amen.
Amen. 6 and 9. After this manner, therefore, pray, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Amen. Ashura Matazawaf, the Ten Commandments. La'a.
La'a,
Yahaya.
Yahaya,
Laka.
Laka,
Alahayim.
Alahaya,
Akayu.
Akari,
Alapunya.
Akunya,
La'a.
La'a,
Daisha.
Daisha,
Laka.
Laka,
Toso.
Basa,
Wala'a.
Wala'a,
Taibudam.
Waibudam,
La'a.
La'a,
Talakwaka.
Talapanta,
Shamwa.
Shama,
Yahawa.
Yahawa,
Lahaika.
Alahayaka,
Lashua.
Lashira,
Zakar.
Zakar,
Af.
At,
Ayuwam.
Ayawam,
Ashabaf.
Ashabah,
Lakodashwa.
Lakodashwa,
Kabad.
Kabad,
Abika.
Abaka,
Wa Amaka.
Wa'amaka,
La'a.
La'a,
Tawatazak.
Naratzak,
La'a.
La'a,
Tana'ap.
Tana'ah,
La'a.
La'a,
Taganab.
Taganah,
La'a.
La'a,
Taina.
Taina,
Shukur.
Shapor,
La'a.
La'a,
Takamad.
Takamat,
Khal.
Kal,
Ashura.
Asherah,
La'aika.
Laraika,
Amen.
Amen. Exodus 20:2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt not know no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto the thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. For the guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Honor thy father, thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Amen.
Amen. You shall please be seated. Barakata Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Asherah, Natanawa Pa Yagapan, Tuara Aman, La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Yasha Allah. English translation. Bless our Yahweh in the name of Yahushai that gives to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it. To Yahweh or to Yahweh in the name of Yahushai with Israel. I mad upon you, you wash them, since face Jerusalem. Repeat the Hebrew only. Barakata Yahweh.
Barakata Yahweh.
Agado.
Agada.
Rakarum.
Rakawam.
Abiyah.
Abiyah.
Manawa'a.
Manawa'a.
Aliwan.
Aliwan.
Malak.
Malak.
Sho.
Shah.
Shamayim.
Shamayim.
Wa'arataza.
Warataza.
Wako.
Wakal.
Dabayim.
Dabar.
Kayam.
Kayayam.
Wagam.
Wagam.
Amashiach.
Amashiach.
Mayahawa.
Mayahawa.
Arawadnawa.
Adawadna.
Ahabnawa.
Ahabna.
Hapala.
Hapala.
Ya'aitaza.
Yaraitiza.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Zakarnawa.
Zakarnawa.
Yahawa.
Yahweh.
Ratazawan.
Ratazawan.
Aimka.
Anka.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Aizornawa.
Aizarnawa.
Bana.
Mana.
Wasap.
Wasap.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Nanawa.
Nanamu.
Yamyan.
Yamyan.
Aitha.
Aita.
Kaiwamyan.
Kayawum.
Makudam.
Makodam.
Abukushai.
Babushah.
Shalat.
Shalak.
Maika Allah.
Mayaka'ala.
Watazawadak.
Watazwada.
Alahayim.
Alahayim.
La.
La.
Magannawa.
Maganawa.
Wapanawa.
Wapanawa.
Washamor.
Yashamor.
Alnawa.
Alnawa.
Baikor.
Baikor.
Shalat.
Shalak.
Awaka.
Baraka.
Shah.
Shah.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
Nawa.
Manawa.
Lalamadnawa.
Malamannawa.
Rabiam.
Rabia.
Kakama.
Kakama.
Tabawana.
Tabawan.
Wada Aif.
Wada'ai.
Shah.
Shah.
The Barka.
Barka.
Bahasham.
Basham.
Yahushai.
Yahushai.
The Water.
The water.
Tamyad.
Tamyad.
Waiwalam.
Waiwalam.
Aman.
Aman.
English translation. Blessed are you, Yahweh, the great, merciful, mighty, terrible, most high power, King of heaven and earth and all things living, and also the anointed from Yahweh, our Lord, our friend, the wonderful counselor, Yahushai. Remember, Yahweh, favor be your people, Israel. Help us build and guide Israel. Most high, we beg you right now, like the days of old. Righteous powers to protect us, heal us, and watch over us. Mainly, send the spirit of Yahushai to us to teach us much wisdom, much knowledge, much understanding of thy word in the name of Yahushai. Always in the name of Yahushua, thank you, always and forever, so be it. Blessed are Yahweh in the name of Yahushua that gives to us the law. Barakata Yahweh.
Barakata Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Asherah.
Asherah.
Natananawa.
Natananawa.
Athorat.
Hathorat.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua that gives to us the light to see. Barakata Yahweh.
Barakata Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Asherah.
Asherah.
Natananawa.
Natananawa.
Awor.
Awor.
La'arat. Blessed are Yahweh in the name of Yahushai that gives to us the ransom to call the people. Barakata Yahweh.
Barakata Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Asherah.
Asherah.
Natananawa.
Natananawa.
Quran.
Quran.
Ayo. La Korah.
La Korah.
Ain. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barakatah Yahweh,
Barakatah Yahweh,
Ba'ashem Yahushai,
Ba'ashem Yahushai,
Asherah,
Asherah,
Natalanawa,
Netanyahu,
Ashaman,
Hasheman,
Zayaf,
Zayak,
Lamashak,
Lamashak,
Yasha Allah.
Yasha Allah.
Yes, shall they be seated. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, brothers and sisters, logging in on the conference line. Shalom to those watching live on the live stream. Welcome to Hayashua Kanas, where we teach that the so-called Negroes and Hispanics, those scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, they are the real Jews that the Bible speaks of. We in a lower state because we broke the laws that the Most High give us the instruction and ordain us to keep. So throughout the four corners of the earth, wherever the children of Israel are, they are in a lower state out of majority. So today is the Lord's Sabbath day, as it is regularly scheduled. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy power, as we read in the beginning of the opening. I read the prayer in Exodus, the 20th chapter. So welcome once again to Hayashua Kanas, which stands for the Congregation of Israel. If there's any new brothers and sisters online, my name is Pequad, and I will be presiding over the service. Today's reading will be in the book of the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha, chapter, book and chapter. We have the book that we're going to read today is First Maccabees, 13th chapter, as well as the 14th chapter. So if you have the book of the Maccabees, you're going to read the 13th and the 14th chapter. Yaukanan, you can whenever you get up there as the Hebrew scholar, you write the Apocrypha in Hebrew, right?
House of Israel does that.
Oh yeah?
In Brooklyn, yeah, they have a Psalms now. They have a Psalms in Hebrew. And I want to get it. It's $90 for it.
I mean, you can start, you know, even if it takes you some time to finish it. You know?
I just love reading it.
Yeah. Well, you can do it.
They do a great job, you know. I love it because I read it every day.
Yeah. I'm sure you can do it. Start with the first page and move from there.
I even have the Psalms right now.
Yeah.
Hebrew and English.
Okay. But we're looking for you to start translate the Apocrypha into Hebrew. So we can read, you know, for the service. All right, so First Maccabees.
And the synopsis?
Huh?
No, say I'm looking for the synopsis.
You're looking for the synopsis?
Yeah, Maccabees.
You mean your summary?
Yeah.
Okay. Gonna get a summary. So the whole thing started with the father of the man called Judas Maccabeus, right? And what was the father's name? What was his name? The father's name, the father of the people who fight for Israel. Mattathias.
Oh, my God.
So in 166 BC, Mattathias rose up because of attacks against our way of life, against our culture, right? Against the way the Messiah wants us to live. And it's always how we stood up and fight, right? We are not a nation that go around and target people to fight with, or to pick fight with other nations. Only when our way of life is threatened that we rise up and defend ourselves.
But now we're fighting spiritually now, right?
Gone. So let's go to First Maccabees, the second chapter, and the second verse, and you can read it once you have it. Go ahead. Yeah, okay. First Maccabees 2 and 2.
First Maccabees 2 and 2. And he had 5 sons.
Yes.
Johanan called Cadiz. Simon called Sasti. Judas, who was called Maccabeus. Eleazar called Avaran, and Jonathan, whose surname was Aquas. You read it?
So he went into the sons, right? So he had 5 sons, and those are the 5 sons that he had. And those 5 sons, they rose up to become for the nation of Israel. Okay, so that was First Maccabees 2 in verse 2. Right, since you asked for a synopsis. So when Maccabees rose up, it was around 166 BC. Right? When he rose up and fought Antiochus the fourth, right? And he ran into the mountain place to hide with his 5 sons. After he rose, he started to go guerrilla warfare against Antiochus. Right? So they wanted us to worshiping idols in the temple against what we stood for in Exodus the 20th chapter, which is one of the laws that says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." So we had Simon, Judas, Eleazar, and Jonathan. So Antiochus came to the town where they live, a town called Modin, and he compelled the people to forsake God and set up idols in the temple to do sacrifice, unclean sacrifices. So Mattathias, being the first renowned person in the village, he was asked to be the first one to do the idol worship. Once the head does it, the other people will follow him. Right? So Antiochus' agent came to town that he commissioned to go and ask Mattathias to do that. So now he refused. Then we had another sellout who stood up right in front of him and did as the agent required. So Mattathias revolted and slew him, and that's how the conflict started. All right, so we were being persecuted for not wanting to do wicked act that would infuriate the Most High. So now let's turn to 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 24. 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 24. And you can read it once you have it.
First Corinthians 10, verse 24. Let no man seek his own, but every man another's wealth.
So Mattathias could have saved himself and say, everybody just be there for your own selves. But he knew everything we do as individual, it has some kind of effect on the whole, especially when you live in a close-knit village, where your actions is known by other people and it affect other people. Keep in mind, around that time, everyone knows everybody in town. Your kids being watched by other parents. Like they say, it takes a village to raise a child. So it means everybody's watching what everybody's doing. If your child is get caught doing something, you bet that if someone in the community, another parent, sees that, they will make sure they correct that child, even that child is not their own child. And before you reach home, the news will already get home before you get home. So word of mouth travels in those small towns, in the small communities. So Mattathias had to a renowned man, an example. He had to stood up, to fight the wrong that was done amongst the people. So let's go again to First Maccabees, the 2nd chapter, and we're gonna read 15 to 27. Right, just to get a recap of what we're gonna read in First Maccabees, the 13th and the 14th chapter. Go on, Yaokanan. All right, First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 15 to 27. Chapter 2, verse 15 to 27.
First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 15. In the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city, molded to make them sacrifice. And when many of Israel came into them, Mattathias also and his sons came together. Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias, on this wise, thou art a ruler and an honorable and a great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem. So shalt thou and thy house be in the number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold, and many rewards. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice through all the nations that are under the king's dominion, obey him and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers, and give consent to his commandments. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left. Now when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment. Which thing, when Matthias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled. Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
Okay.
Also, the king's commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phineas did unto Zambri, the son of Salom. And Matthias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, Whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
All right. So that was the father's the father history, which got us here now in chapter 13 and 14. Each one of the sons rise up right after the other to preserve and follow suit what the father did. So Judas Maccabeus was the first one appointed, right, to be the general to defend Israel. So now we have one top general. Who's that top general among all the generals of Israel? The top governor. Who's that top governor? That top governor is Yahushua. Right? Always someone rise up to defend Israel. Matthias was one of them. Judas became one of them. Right? Jonathan became one of them. So now the last surviving member of the family is Simon. So they all fight the good fight of defending Israel. So now we get to Simon. So now to speed things up, we go to the beginning of the chapter that we're going to read today, so we can get up to speed, so that we have an idea what the chapter is about. So Simon, keep in mind his name, he has a surname, Zealous. Look at what zealous means. Right? Everybody has a nickname. And we see that all throughout the Bible. Somebody has a nickname. Right? Yahushua has so many nicknames. Right? He has so many names because the things that he did, right, embodied everything. Every nickname you can give him, he embodied all of them. So zealous. Can y'all kind of look up zealous and let the congregation knows about be zealous, which was the nickname or surname for Simon, who we are about to read in just a minute. Zealous. Simon the Zealous. Devoted, diligent. He has a zeal, impassionate, devout, committed, dedicated, enthusiastic, eager. Right? Judas was what? You give him the name Maccabees, right? And later on, the whole family carry on that name. The hammer, because he hammered the enemy. Right? He give him a blow. When you hit somebody with a hammer, you know, hammer nail things down, right? If you wanna if you want to nail two pieces of wood together, you take a nail and you knock it down with a hammer. This is to show how he beat down the enemy. Right? So now we came to Simon, right? Whose name is Zealous. So we're going to read about what happened to him and what he did. So he took command of the people now, as he succeeded his brothers. All right. So I'm gonna go swift into chapter 13. All right. Say that again.
Let's read something quickly.
Okay, what chapter? What book and chapter?
I just want to read Judith 11 and 10.
Judith.
Yeah, Judith 11 and 10.
Judith is in the Apocrypha. Judith 11 and 10.
Yeah. This is Judith.
Chapter 11, verse 10.
Yeah, it says, "Therefore, O Lord and Governor, his word, but lay it up in thine heart, for it is true. For our nation shall not be punished, neither can the sword prevail against them, except they sin against their God." So if we sin against the Most High, then the nation can overtake us.
Okay.
But if they keep the law, statute, and commandment, they can't overcome us.
Okay. Fine. All right. So now let's get to the chapter at hand. It says, "Now when Simon heard that Tryphon," keep in mind Simon now is the survivor, the last man standing. Right, the last man standing, representing the people. I mean, representing the Most High for the people. So now when Simon heard that Tryphon was a man that was in the Seleucid dynasty. He was actually a tutor to Alexander Ballas, the son of Alexander Ballas. But soon he declared himself king. So he had nothing to do with the family. You know, sometimes throne passed down from family to family. But he declared himself king by murdering, the boy that was supposed to be king of the Seleucid dynasty. So he had no connection with the Seleucid family. But because of ambition for power, and he was close to power, he took the opportunity, right, to take it by force. All right, so it says, "Now when Simon heard that Tryphon had gathered together a great host to invade the land of Judea and destroy it, and saw that the people was in great trembling and fear, he went up to Jerusalem and gathered the people together." So whenever you have government in countries that you have league with, when the head of state is changed, is new policies, right? New way of doing politics. So when Tryphon took on, the kingship, thing he had to change things according to how he wants to run things. And unfortunately, it was not in our favor. So he looked to destroy Israel or destroy Judah. Verse 2. And so that the people, Simon, he saw that the people was in great trembling and fear. He went up to Jerusalem and gathered the people together. So now, in order for him to take on the task, he had to revive the people. So let's see how he did it. In verse 3, he gave them exhortation, saying, ye yourself know that great things I and my brethren in my father's house have done for the laws of the sanctuary, the battles also and troubles which we have seen. Right? Sometimes we have short-term memory as a people. We forget. And what one thing that the Most High always say, remember, because our memory seems to be very short, and the Most High knows how he made us. And there's a reason why he kept telling us to remember. Even the family had done great things, fight for the law, defeat the enemy, but trouble comes, we soon forget. Had put his hand on that family to defend us. So Simon had to take into consideration the people's the people's mindset, right, and remind them of what had happened, what they had done in the past, right, to bring back the memory of what had happened, the action they took. Verse 4, by reason whereof all my brethren are slain for Israel's sake. Keep in mind that all his brethren are slain for Israel's sake, because he's the last man standing. And I am left alone. Right? So he left alone. So he had 5 sons, 4 of them got killed defending Israel. So he's the last one left. Now, in verse 5, now therefore, be it far from me that I should spare my own life in any time of trouble, for I am no better than my brethren. So if his brothers die, he made a commitment, or he was convinced that he should go the same direction that his family took. So he made a humble decision, right, that he's not any better than his brothers. So if his brothers took the decision, or made the decision to fight for Israel and die, he will take the same direction. And he says that verse 6, doubtless I will avenge my nation in the sanctuary. And this is something that is, it's an example, it's a heritage. It's a heritage that we inherit. We made in the image of the Most High. So the Most High gave his only begotten Son So we feel like we have to take the same decision. When we're in the right mindset, automatically it clicks that we should make the same decision, given, you know, the circumstance, given the situation that would present itself. So the Most High would have done it, and he did it, being in the same mindset, righteous mindset. It's only automatic that he took the same route. If he had all the intention, then he might want to save his life, which wouldn't be a saving. It would just be a temporary, you know, satisfaction comparing to eternal life, right? So he made a tough decision, but the right one. Verse 6 again, it said, doubtless I will avenge my nation in the sanctuary, and our wives, and our children, for all the heathen are gathered to destroy us of very malice, wrongfully. Verse 7, now as soon as the people heard these words, their spirit revived. So the people always looking for somebody to take command. We always need a commander in chief, right? Always need someone to take the baton. And he was Simon who made the right choice, given he was the last one standing. So the spirit of the people was rekindled when they heard these words. And let's see the reaction of the people after he had spoken. Verse 8. And they answered with a loud voice. So the people answered with a loud voice. Can you open for him? It's open, but he probably not here.
Oh.
Bear with us for a moment. We have our brother walking in. Give him a chance to get himself situated, and we'll continue. Shalom.
Yeah, man, it's good to be here.
More than merry. Yeah.
Waiting for you to get situated.
Yeah.
You have your apocrypha?
I keep forgetting to bring that.
Okay. We have one up there you can use. Meanwhile, because that's where we're doing the service.
Worry about it.
Can you get it for him? Kahan, Yao Kanan, Abakusha.
Yeah, I remember to put that with my Bible.
Mm-hmm. It happens because it's separated, right?
Yeah, it's separated. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have the 1611 version
Oh, okay.
of the Bible too, but I'm not as astute as reading it because of the way it's written, the wording.
Mm-hmm.
A little more for me.
Okay. So the chapter we reading today is First Maccabees, chapter 13 and 14.
First Maccabees?
Mm-hmm.
Page 134. The thing is that these nations see how the Most High is blessing us and the wealth that we have, you know, and they always want to try to take us over because sometimes they see other nations, you know, take us over into captivity and so on and so forth, but they want to do that too, you know.
Yeah, it's like we like a sheep without a shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
Right, we like sheep without shepherd, and then anytime you have sheep without shepherd,
you can always have somebody trying to take the sheep.
absolutely.
Once you have factions among each other, you know, then they say, oh, we can take them down, you know.
Because they're separated and scattered.
That's why there's always someone to rise up to defend us, even if it's one individual from a family. The Most High will raise to take position while Yahushua is not here physically, right? He's fighting with us in spirit, but he's not here physically. So whenever the Most High allow one of our people to fight for us, it's him that's fighting, right? He's fighting with that individual, but the individual is here physically. But Yahushua's spirit is there with us. Go ahead,
Yeah, quickly. Psalm 94:16. It says, "Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or up for me against the workers of iniquity?"
Who will rise up for us? It seems like right now, in this last day, we don't really have someone that rise up and fight, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason for it. So he says, Psalm 94:16, who will rise up for us against the evildoers?
To say their anthems, bow to their flags, go to their churches and stuff like that, Kind of wicked.
All right, so now, since we are on the same page now, let's go to verse 8 again. And they answered with a loud voice, saying, "Thou shalt be our leader instead of Judas and Jonathan, thy brother." But they had already gone, right? They died already. The brothers died. So in place of Judas and Jonathan, Simon was accepted by the people. Power comes from the Most High, but the people must declare they want your acceptance. So the Most High send you a leader, and then the people will make the decision whether they like him or not, right? If they go on good account, if the individual is on the Most High side, there's no doubt that he will be chosen, right? He will be chosen if the people wants to be saved. Remember, the people, they were trembling. They were in fear. So Simon was the guy, the position. Verse 9. Fight thou our battles, and whatsoever thou commanded us will we do. So when we're in a position of power, we're in a position that we have people at our disposal. They still have fear. Their heart trembling, their mind disturbed. Yet the discipline of the individual who's in command, they will follow. in spite of the fear, in spite of the trembling. Their mind may say one thing, but they will follow. Right? They will follow the steps in the instruction that is in command. So that's what the people are expressing right here. When they say, tell us to do anything, and we will do it. That doesn't mean the fear went away. The fear is there, but they are convinced by the one leading them that he's suitable to get the job done. Verse 10 now. Before we get to verse 10, let's read Proverbs 29 and 2. Proverbs 29 and verse 2.
When the righteous authority.
Read it loud so that people in the conference line can.
When the righteous in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked burden rule, the people mourn.
Right. So when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Shalom, Mark. We in First Maccabees 13th chapter. Right now we're about to read on verse 10. So when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. What is the condition for our people here in this time? Are we rejoicing?
No. No rejoicing. We're with us in the morning. Some of us know, and some have not waken up to the fact that we're mourning.
Right. So the people in a state of mourning, the children of Israel in a state of mourning right now. Why? Because the wicked bear rule. But when Yahushua comes, our king, our last governor, our first and last governor, so he's the first and the last, right? And then we have in between governors who fight for us, like what we're reading right now, Simon. So when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Also, let's get Proverbs 14 and 34. Proverbs 14 verse 34. And Yahukanan, you can read it once you have it. Give them a minute to get it real fast. 14 and verse 24.
24. The crown of the wise is their riches.
Oh, actually, he's gonna read it. Yeah.
Proverbs 14:24. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly.
Right. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly. So to rise up against righteousness is folly. But to fight for wickedness is wise. To fight against wickedness is wise. And that's what's going to bring you your crown. When we fight wickedness, we have riches that last forever. But when we're not doing what we're supposed to do, thinking that we are becoming rich, it's only temporary. It's foolishness. Think about it. Those who are rich in this world, is it forever?
Not only that, but it is foolishness because the things they require to participate in, the participation in what they do is foolery. And as long as they practice that foolery and line their eyes from all the other things of the world that's going on in the world, they stay where they are.
Okay. All right, so let's go back to the Apocrypha. So the people now want Simon to fight for them. So Simon is now appointed. The Most High gives you power through the people. Verse. Now that he's appointed, it's time to start taking action. Let's see what Simon did.
So then he gathered together all the men of war.
Right. So now he gathered together all the men of war and made haste to finish the walls of Jerusalem, and he fortified it round about. So he gathered together all the men of war. That's what they got him. They appointed him to be a governor, right, to protect the people. So the first thing is to make sure that you have an army ready to defend the people. Because without the army, how can the people be defended? So he gathered the people, the men of war, and made haste to finish the wall of Jerusalem. So now to finish the wall of Jerusalem, to make sure that the people are secure inside that wall, right, as a defense, as protection. And he fortified it round about. He fortified, he reinforced it all around. Verse 11.
And he sent Jonathan.
Actually, I'll read it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's how the service goes. Right, that's how the service goes. And then in a class setting, then I call on, But no, it's fine. But from time to time, I will call to read other verses that we pull out. And if you have a verse that you want to pull out as well, you can pull it out. That's pertaining to what we are reading. Now that's completely okay. You don't know. What you don't know, right?
I just want to read one Exodus 15:3.
Exodus 15:3.
It's related to the fortified wall.
Exodus 15:3.
Yeah, it says, the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name.
Right. So the Most High is a man of war. He's a man of war. And we made in his image. The Most High will teach us how to fight. Right? He taught us how to fight. He want to make sure that we skill in every area. Verse 12 now. So Tryphon, we move from with a great power to invade the land of Judea. And Jonathan was with him inward. So power is a game of force. Right? It's a game of force, it's a game of strategy. Right? Right now, the objective is to gather as many men that can fight as possible on both sides. So Tryphon we moved from Ptolemais with a great power to invade the land of Judea. And Jonathan was with him inward. So it's two forces pulling one side or the other. Right? So that's what power is about. When people hear power, which is when people say God means power. Right? It's forces fighting one towards another. To take on, one wants to be the one dominant. Right? One wants to be the one, who win, who have authority over things. And that's what this is about. So if I'm in power, you have your own way of life. It diminishes my power because you acting outside of my influence. So you have to do what I want you to do. Right? I have to. Now, if you don't want to do it, I'm gonna make sure I beat you down or fight you to get you to comply. So it's a relation of force going on. One pulling one side, one pulling the other. Right? It's a power struggle, a power fight, right? That's why it's a power struggle. Everybody struggle to get, the upper hand. Right?
Like what the United States, as a superpower and other nations, they don't comply. You gotta show that we are more powerful and try to get against the other nations that they have to comply.
Right.
Like powers, because all nations they have their military. So the United States want to show that they have the power over the whole earth.
Right.
And if you don't do it, the United States say they'll sanction your country.
Right.
So you need to apply sanctions to your country.
Right.
And if it means war, it means war.
So now, with all power now, it's good to understand of the power comes from, because it's just not in the air. There's a source where you can draw that power from. right? And how it is put together. The Most High is the ultimate power, right? And you have Satan is a lesser power controlled by the Most High. But those who don't understand think that Satan is on the same level as the Most High. Right? So there's a power struggle going on. Verse 12. So Tryphon removed from Ptolemais with a great power to invade the land inward, to invade the land of Judea, and Jonathan was with him inward. But Simon pitched his tents over against the plain. So now Simon, it's about positioning, right? It's about positioning. You got to know where you stand. Right? The enemy make one move, you got to make another move. It's like you playing chess. Right? One move after the other. Take nothing for granted, right? So he's facing the plane to counter attack any sort of move that the enemy trying to make. In order to be able to do that, you have to have a clear mindset as to what the enemy is doing. You got to know the behavior of the enemy. See, people today think, psychology invented by the so-called white man. This is all psychology. It is learning the behavior of your enemy and his mental processes. Right? That's what it's about. Right? Understanding the behavior and the mental processes. That's what psychology is about. Right? But now when your psychology is guided by the Most High, then you have the ultimate psychology. Because not you that's acting right now, you got the spirit moving, right? Guiding your strategy, your move that you make. Because if it's left up to you, the people can perish because it's not your game. It's the Most High's game, right? And you have the people that you got to protect. It's not about you. It's about God's people. God puts you in position, right, to be the guide, the shepherd. So if he puts you in position, of course, now he's gonna give you the resources, right, to get the job. Like you're gonna have to invent, your own way of making things happen, right? Whereas the other people, they think it's about pure psychology, right? Pure psychology. Now, verse 13 now. But Simon pitches tents at Adida over again against the plain. Now when Tryphon knew that Simon was risen up instead of his brother Jonathan, and meant to join battle with him, he sent messengers unto him, saying, whereas we have Jonathan thy brother in whole, it is for money that he is owing unto the king's treasure concerning the business that was committed unto him. Right? So he said the reason why he has Jonathan, he held Jonathan hostage is because of money. Because he learned that Simon now is in charge. And he knew that family where Simon come from doesn't play around. They all in the same mindset. They all in the same, direction. So you mess with one, you mess with all. Right? So now Jonathan was a warrior, and the family, they learned get guerrilla warfare from their parents. So that's what the Most High made that family for, to defend the people. So he said it is for money that your brother Jonathan the royal treasury. He held him, in connection with the offices, right? And he said that's how he was detained. He was held captive. So now here's his request. Wherefore now send 100 talents of silver and 2 of his sons for hostage, that when he is at liberty, he may not revolt from us, and we will let him go. So now you got Jonathan, a top general, and now he has to send 100 talents plus 2 of his sons. So if you send those in 2 of his sons, meaning they cannot rise up, because the key is to get rid of that family. To him, the family is a problem, because you get rid of one of them, another one rise up. And if they have sons, the sons rise up. So there will be no end. The quicker you can get rid of that family, the faster your problem will get solved, and you will get to the position of power that you want. It's about, destroying that family. And also, their money supply, you got to dry it up. It's about, resources. Right? Men resources, monetary resources. However way you can defeat the enemy, you have to make sure that they lack resources. Right? Lack resources, right? Enough where you can get the upper hand. Right? So that was his request. Just concerning the business committed, wherefore now send us money. Verse 17. Whereupon Simon, albeit he perceived that they spake deceitfully unto him, yet sent he the money and the children. So now Simon, he knew that he was being deceitful. But you know what? He sent him the money and the sons. The reason is, you send him the money, you send him the sons. That's his request, right? Because he believes that's how he destroy, Israel. But again, he believes in the man that he see in front of him, the manpower that he see in front of him. But he doesn't understand that the Most High can rise up somebody else, even if you destroy that family. Right? So that's the long-term vision that he doesn't have. He's thinking about right now, what he needs to do right now, right, to win. Not taking in consideration the long term of how, our fight is not, we're not fighting against flesh and blood. Right? Ephesians 2 and 12, right? Let's get it. Man, that scripture escaped me. What is it again? We're fighting, our fight is not flesh and blood. Mm-hmm. Hold on. It's an Ephesians for sure. Let's get it. 6 and 12. 6 and 12. The water. Ephesians 6 and 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. You guys, brothers, you watch wrestling, right? Is wrestling a hugging thing, or when you watching a wrestling match, is it like they hugging each other hand in hand? Huh? In the ring? Everybody trying to slim, yeah, trying to overthrow each other out, right? Slim body, slim however way, you gotta knock them out. Sometimes blood gushing out, right? I'm talking about not the fake wrestling.
You got to subdue the other one.
Right. To win. So we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. Against principalities. What is principalities? Doctrines. Right, principality, doctrine, certain way of doing things. Right, we went and you say principles. I have principles. I mean, you have some rules, right? You have some way of doing things. Against powers. What are the powers that is being referred to if we're not fighting against flesh and blood? What is the powers that's talking about?
Forces of evil.
Forces of evil. Forces of evil. Where are they? Huh?
They're in high places.
Where high places?
They're in the earth.
They're in the earth, yes. They're in the depth of the sea. They're in the sea, right? And they're in the air. Can we see them?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. You cannot see them, right? But we know that they're there. If you want to see them, can you? Yes, you can. But now you have to go through,
Ritual.
huh?
Some ritual.
You have to go to some ritual. What does the Most High say? What does the Most High say?
No other gods before.
No, have no other gods before me, but also not go into no sorcerers and practice, cicadas, right? But guess what? Other people who consult those people, they can see them, right? So to them, they have an upper hand. They have an upper hand, right? Because they cannot stand the fact that there's other forces around, and they have no control. They cannot see. They cannot. They cannot deal with that. Some people, they don't follow the scriptures, and they want to see what's out there, and that makes them feel comfortable, and they feel like they have the upper hand on you, that you don't even know what you're facing, right? So it says, against principalities, against powers, against the rulers. When we're talking about rulers, what do a ruler have? Now, what do they have? Ruling what? They're ruling people. But they ruling people, what are they ruling if they invisible? They ruling other spirits. Right? They ruling over other spirits. They have an army. Just like you have a physical army, they got an army that they ruling over. Right? Rulers of the darkness of this world. What world are we talking about? Of this world. What were we talking about? This world. The world that we live in, the physical world that we live in, it's ruling by those rulers. Right. So now, who's in power right now physically? Now, physically, who's in power? Esau is in power. Right? So now, if those people in here, it says against the rulers of the darkness in this world. So now, physically, we're dealing with the princes of the ruler of this world, who is in power right now. So who's in power right now? Esau. Right? So the chief of Esau right now is those rulers in high places, in the air, in the earth, in the waters. They dwell in. So those are the spirit that's manipulating whatever you see happening right now. Right? And it says of this world against spiritual. Now it's getting descriptive. Against spiritual wickedness in high places. Right? Against spiritual wickedness in high places. High places is in the air, in sea, and on earth. So they everywhere. Right? So we fighting. So now connecting that with what's going on right here in the Apocrypha in verse 17, right? Yeah, verse 17. Whereupon Simon, albeit he perceived that they speak deceitfully unto him, yet peradventure he should procure to himself great hatred of the people. Now he has a tough decision in his hand. Tough decision. He had to give up 2 sons plus money. He knew that he was being lied to. So he understood the mindset of those individuals. He knew it was a lie. But now, if the people, they love Jonathan, how would he supposed to know for sure that that's exactly what you want? He perceived it. The only one who know for sure is the Most High. Right? Now, he made a decision of the majority. The decision that he believed the majority would go with. Because now he's not governing for himself, he's governing for the people. Even though the people appointed him, the people don't appoint him for him to let them do whatever they want. That's why the people appoint you. Sometimes you have to make decision even though the decision may not seem popular. This is a tough thing for being in power, because some decision in the short term may seem very disturbing to the people, but you're looking at the long term. Right? So he made the decision. So he didn't want the people to say, because he did not do what he's supposed to do, now Jonathan is dead. Because the people understood what Jonathan stood for. They knew Jonathan's track record, but they don't know the track record of the sons. They may or may not rise up just like Jonathan would rise up, because they are not leaders yet. They may be in line to become leaders, but they don't have a track record established yet. They had a track record established, and the people love Jonathan. So he made a decision. I let the sons go, because Jonathan already have a bond with the people. You already have a track record. So the people would more likely want, Jonathan alive, as opposed to the uncertainty of what those sons might become. Right? So he sent the request. Right? What he think at the time was the right decision. Verse 18. Whom I have said, because I sent him not the money and the children, therefore is Jonathan dead. You see? The reason why he cared, because the people care about Jonathan. And he's ruling for the people. So he got to go do what the people think. Some people, not all the people, would agree with what he did. But the majority, he's going to go with the majority. Because you cannot make a decision that's going to suit everybody. That's a lot. Yahushua was teaching, right? We knew what Yahushua came for. But you still had people who oppose him. Right? Thinking that we're going to make a decision that's going to suit everybody is not the case. No matter how good the decision that you may be, expect there will be opposition. Right? As long as you know the decision you made is the right one, that's the main objective. It's the righteous decision. But expect whatever decision you make, somebody will like. Take that for example. You could say something compelling on Facebook. You have people who give you thumbs up, people who give you thumbs down. Regardless how good you might think the person made a case. There's always opposition in everything. Because the Most High creates everything in two. Light and day, day and night. So there's going to be some opposition. If everybody agrees with you, you better become very suspicious. Right? Right? So now verse 19 again. So he sent them the children and the 100 talents, howbeit Tryphon dissembled, neither would he let Jonathan go. So now that he got his request, what Simon suspected all along, that's exactly what it was. It was deceit. But the decision had to be made. You can't sit around and waiting. Sometimes you got to make a decision. Time is of the essence. People's lives is at stake. Verse 20. And after this came Tryphon to invade the land and destroy it, going round about by the way that leadeth unto Adorah. But Simon and his host marched against him in every place wheresoever he went. So Simon was kind of attacked any move that he made. Any move that he made, Simon was on his tail. Right? Simon was right there. Whatever move he made, Simon was, blocking him. So he made a circle, trying to siege him. But Simon, being an experienced commander, he made sure that whatever move he made, he was right there, following every move. So he kept marching in opposition. In opposition to every place he went, he kept, marching. Verse 22. Wherefore Tryphon made ready. Verse 21. Now they that were in the tower, in the citadel, sent messengers unto Tryphon to the end that he should hasten his coming unto them by the wilderness, and send them victuals. It's like a big fortress. You don't have access. You have limited access to food. So now the people was begging Tryphon that he should come fast so that he can, save them. Verse 22. Wherefore Tryphon made ready all his horsemen to come that night. But there fell a very great snow, because if he can pull that off, that will reinforce his power. If he can get the people out, keep in mind, those people that's there, if you can get them out, think about somebody who's in prison. You feel like, or you're in a situation where you're about to die. Whoever free you, you feel like you owe his life to that person, and whatever they tell you to do, at that point you are almost dead. Free you up, whatever they tell you to do, you become like a valiant, ruthless person, because at some point you were in a position where you had no communication with people and you were about to die. You see death. So if he can bring these people out alive, he can reinforce his army, because his army will have people now not afraid of to die because they were there. Right. So now he's trying to get to them. Right. So now he should hasten his coming unto them by the wilderness and send them victual. Wherefore Tryphon made ready all his horsemen to come that night, but there fell a very great snow, by reason whereof there was a great snow, he couldn't make it. Right? So, and where was that? Around Judea. There was snow there. So now, this brings a question. If it was around snow time, would Mary give birth to Yahushua in the dead of winter in a manger? Right? Right. Would Mary, do that? Would the Most High allow her to go to that? You know how cold it gets. You go outside right now. You got clothes on. Imagine giving birth in the cold. Nothing is impossible to the Most High. Right? But certain things, the Most High, you got to use common sense, right? Even though common sense is not common nowadays, right? So it was snow around there at that time. So because of that, he didn't go. Here goes somebody who have a mission. He's on a mission to take over. It's no stopping. Right? So there was a great snow, he didn't make it. Wherefore Tryphon made ready all his horsemen, verse 23 now. Great snow by reason whereof he came not. So he departed and came into the country of Gilead. So verse 23 now. And when he came near to Bascama, he slew Jonathan, who was buried there. So he killed Jonathan. He got the sons, he took the money, he killed Jonathan. And Jonathan was buried there. He just killed him. Right? And when he came near to Bascama, he slew Jonathan, who was buried there. After verse 24, afterward, Tryphon returned and went into his own land. So then, since Simon and took the bones of Jonathan his brother, and buried them in Modin, the city of his father. So in matter of wars, when people make an act like this, especially if you're governor, there's repercussion, but usually they do it to make a statement. It may be out of anger, but the anger speaks about a statement they want to make. It's either they're angry, they hate you, you stand in their way of getting to where they want to get. But whatever decision they make has a reason why they make it. And every action they make, there's gonna be some consequences. I mean, every action anybody makes to begin with, there's consequences, whether small or great. Any action relates. We may not think of it in a moment. It relates. Anything we do affects somebody else. Anything we do affects somebody else. We may think, I'm doing my own thing, but with the action we take have some effect on somebody else. Right? Whatever we do or don't do matters. Right? Whatever we do or don't do matters. But at the time we do it, we don't think of it that way. Everything. Verse 26. And all Israel made great lamentation for him and bewailed him many days. Simon also built a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren, and raised it aloft to the site with hewn stone behind and before. So it's not a bad thing to honor your people, your parents that died. Give them a nice thing. That's that's the least you can do, right? So he raised up a nice hewn golden stone, and so he can honor them. Verse 28. Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father and his mother and his 4 brethren. Right? 7. Everything has a meaning. Right? You didn't just go ahead and do the 7. 7 is a righteous number, righteous vibration. Right? We are not smart today to know about certain things by reading on Google and to tell us. People, they knew what things mean back then. Right? And right now, comparing to now, you have options into different things. But back then, people had a clear mindset, clear conviction, and they know the truth, what it means, and that's why they go. Today, our mind can get, sighted in many directions because so many things to believe, so many doctrines, so many stuff out there. And if you're not careful reading the scriptures and have the Spirit guide us, so much things out there, you might get confused. Right? You got to set your mind in, Nico, this is how I'm going to go, and that's it. Yeah, you read other things, but you just read it just to uncover wickedness and lies. But your mind is already set on what the truth is, according to Scripture. Right? What's the scripture in Isaiah? To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to the, because they're doing it. It's Isaiah 8 and 28. Let me see.
and 20.
8 and 20. I was close. Isaiah 8 and 20. Isaiah 8 and 20. Anybody can come in and say a lot of nice thing, a lot of good thing. If they speak not according to the testimony, to the law, they just beating the air. Talking nice stuff, sound cool, sound nice.
Politicians.
Yeah, because they know the mindset of the majority of our people. Prophesy to us smooth things. Tell us nice things we want to hear, and that's why we become merchandise. Right? They make merchandise of us. Merchandise of us through advertising. So the advertisings are full with positive messages, positively charged, emotionally, right? Because they think they understand the psychology. People like to be prophesied nice thing, right? Right. So everything that we do again matters, and everything that is done in the world also is done by design, not by accident. There's no such thing as accident. Everything is done by design. Even in a smaller scale, nothing is done by accident. You see a picture out there in the street, is there for a reason. It is designed for a specific reason by whoever designed it. You see out there is done for a specific reason. I'll tell you, for example, you're looking at this picture over here on the top, right? You might look at this picture, say, man, you just took a lion here, Ayashua Kanas, the congregation of Israel, and he got a scripture on it. That's all you see. But if you had to go back to the design of how this thing is designed, you'll see a bunch of layers. You might see 50 to 25 layers that make up that what you see up there. But to somebody who don't know the design of it, might see, that's just a picture. But what behind it, you have to go to where it's designed to see the makeup that contribute to put this out there. Any little effect that you see in there, there's a button that is pressed for a specific reason. So things are not just what you see. There's a lot of work by the Most High being put into things that you see. Right? Children of Israel are not just the people that you see today walking. Even though we're in the slums, it seems like we're nothing. But there's a lot behind that man or that woman. Only if they wake up and see it. Right?
Plus, also Satan has a lot of out there. He has pretty pictures, bright lights, tasty food, and all of that stuff.
Right. So again, there's a design behind it. There's a structure behind it. There's a lot that is put. There's a reason why it's there and present to you that way. Even the Mosai, the way the Mosai said, I put this here, I put this there. There's a reason why he put it. He put it there. There's a reason why he used different, color and things like that. Right. See, this life is it's complex. At the same time, it can be very simple. If we apply Yahushua, it can be very simple, but it can be very complex if we go by the way of the world, because they got so many tricks. Right? All right. So let's go to 29. Yes, verse 29. And in these he made cunning devices, about the which he set great pillars, and upon the pillars he made all their armor for a perpetual memory, and by the armor ship carved, that they might be seen of all that sail on the sea. He was making a statement here. Isn't it whatever he did right here was done by design? He wants to make a statement. Whoever passed by and see it, it may bring back the memory so they can remember. He didn't do it just, by, he just go ahead and put it there. Carefully designed, and he wants to attain an objective when the finished product is made. Right? When the finished product is made, he wants to attain an objective, and the objective is for people to see it and to make an impression on them so that they can remember the family of what they have done. Okay? Carefully designed. Verse 30. This is the sepulchre which he made at Modin, and it standeth yet unto this day. Now Tryphon dealt deceitfully with the young king Antiochus. So now Tryphon dealt deceitfully with the young king Antiochus and slew him. So that's how he got into power. He slew the king so he can get into power. Right? So that's the way the game of power goes. The game of power goes, somebody got to get out the way in the world, so that I can get there. When Yahushua comes, how he's gonna get to power? So he's gonna get them out the way so he can rise up. Because nobody wanna give up power. Power is addictive. Once you're there, man, you're on top of the world. You got everything at your disposal. Your lifestyle and everything, Thing that you can dream to have is at your disposal. The resources that you dream to have at your disposal. Thing is, when you gain power in this world, it's temporary. That's what frustrates a lot of people. That's why they go and kill to see how much longer they can keep it. Right? And try to further their generation and pass it down because it's addictive. Power in this world is addictive. And it's temporary. Right? And Satan used these people after he done used them and threw them away. If he don't destroy you, if he doesn't kill you. Done. Can you turn it down somehow? All right. So then Simon was now Tryphon dealt deceitfully with the young king Antiochus and slew him. 32. And he reigned in his stead and crowned himself king of Asia and brought a great calamity upon the land. So whatever techniques or strategy he used, to him, it's working. So he crowned himself king by killing the young kid. And remember, he was a tutor to that boy. And kill him. Anyone who get close to power, get a taste of power, once you get that sting, man, you want it. You want to eat it. For example, a small example. want to be without light? Nobody. Once you have it, you feel like, that's the way it's always supposed to be. Right? Once they take that, who wants to be without your house? Once you have your house, you feel, a different way. And you don't want to lose it. You see? You don't want to lose it. So you know how it makes you wake up comparing to how you were before. Right? You understand, you feel the spirit that is working with you, and you don't want to lose it. No one wants to lose power. Right? So it says, and he went in his stead and crowned himself king of Asia and brought a great calamity upon the land. Verse 33, then Simon built up the stronghold in Judea and fenced them about with high towers and great walls and gates and bars, and laid up victuals therein. Right? Put food, put bars, and put the people in. Then Simon built up the strongholds in Judea, and verse 34 now. Moreover, Simon chose men and sent to King Demetrius to the end he should give the land in immunity, because all that Tryphon did was to spoil. Right? Unto whom King Demetrius answered and wrote after this manner. So King Demetrius wrote. Okay. King Demetrius unto Simon the high priest and friend of kings, as also unto the elders and nation of the Jews, sendeth greeting. The golden crown and the scarlet robe, which he sent unto us, we have received. The golden crown and the scarlet robe. Scarlet robe. The scarlet robe and the golden crown. That seems to be things dedicated for kings, right? Verse 38. I'm sorry, verse 37 again. The crown robe, scarlet robe, which he sent unto us, we have received, and we are ready to make steadfast peace with you. Yea, and to write unto our officers to confirm the immunities which we have granted. Now, another one quick thing about colors of things. Gold. What color is gold?
No.
Yellow. Right? Gold is yellow, right? Like a yellowish color. If somebody has gold, you could be far away. You can spot it. Why is that?
It's shining.
It's shining. Why? Because it is the first color that is processed by the human eye. So there's a reason for everything. The first color processed by the human eye. Right? It is often used to draw attention. Right? It is often used to draw attention. See, when you use different color and different things, it means you may not understand, but it has an effect. Right? It has an effect. Whenever you use it, when the Most High use this color and that color, the Most High knows exactly why you use it. Because the effect your peripherals. And it's looking for, you're gonna get what we call a reaction. They call it that effect. It could be a positive effect, it could be a negative effect. Right? Depending on what the person using it is. Right? And advertisers and people, they use different color and different things to get different results. Right? Called stimulus. Right? So positive effect, it means that there's the benefit of you making a decision to buy whatever they want you to buy is high. If you have a negative effect, the risk of you buying whatever you gotta buy is low. So when you see an advertising, you read it, automatically you feel some type of way. So whatever feeling that you have is the effect, the quick, rapid, and involuntary effect that you have in response to that stimulus. Right? That's pretty much the objective of advertisers, to get you, to influence you to spend money. But it's to persuade, inform, and influence you to spend your money. Sometimes you make a decision, you don't know how the hell you made that decision, but once you're done spending your money, you realize, man, what the hell is that? Right? So all that is design. Right? So this is a quick tangent on colors, right? Yellow, first color processed by the human eye. Right? Easily seen process, people see it. So once a crown is on top of somebody else, you can't miss it. Right? More color things in, probably in a class. All right, so quick, he wanted to get an effect to get him, so he sent him the gift that's suitable, that is appropriate. Why he didn't send something else? Because that's appropriate for King. He wants to attract them in a way. That's why he sent it. He didn't just pick up. He could have picked up anything. He could have picked a basketball and sent it to him. What would he do with the basketball? He took something that is suitable for him. Scarlet robe. What's scarlet? What color is that? Purple? Red? That's red, right? Scarlet, if it's scarlet and red, why you pick red? Why you didn't pick white, or you didn't pick black? Why red?
Nice and bright.
What else? Nice and bright, that's attractive. Let me tell you, 60 to 70% of people's reaction is based on color. 60 to 70% of reaction of people is based on color. So red, increased blood pressure, heart rate, appetite, grabs attention, and stimulate quick decision making. Quick decision making, stimulate quick decision making. The next time you see some advertising, now you see how they design it, provided that the person designing knows what he's doing. Right? Scarlet red, grabs attention, stimulate great decision making, quick decision making. Get you pumped up quick. Act now. Right? Scarlet robe, which he sent unto us. We have received and we are ready to make. We have received and we are ready to make. Watch this. To make a steadfast peace. Quick time. Right? Quick. So those men, they being like men like Simon, the Spirit is guiding him to do the right thing, the right move, according to people's psychology. Right? According to people's psychology. So now you send him a scarlet robe, golden crown. So he said now he's ready fast to make steadfast move. Steadfast. So now you see nothing happened by accident, right? And it says, we make steadfast peace with you, yea, and to write unto our officers to confirm the immunities which we have granted. And whatsoever covenant we have made with you shall stand in a stronghold which ye have builded, shall be your own. As for any oversight or fault committed unto this day, we forgive it, and the crown tax also, which ye owe us. And if there were any other tribute paid in Jerusalem, it shall no more be paid. You see, the simple gift. The gift destroyeth the heart, the mind. The gift destroyeth the mind. A simple gift and a kind gesture along with it make you act according to how your enemy wanted to act. But all that he did was, channeled by the Most High. Channeled by the Most High. Right? The Spirit channeled it, understanding people's psychology. Right? Just a scarlet robe, kind gesture, and crown of gold, you get a whole lot for the people. The burden being lifted up of the people, the crown tax, that a lot of people was gonna pay that. Where are they gonna get the money from? The people. So you just did one action, and that's gonna trickle down to benefits, right? So you did this so that you can get a benefit. Nobody does anything for free. Nobody does anything not wanting something in return. So he did that so that he can get a benefit, and the benefit will trickle down to the people. Reduce taxes, right? Friendship, no attack. You dwell in peace, keeping your law, statutes, and commandments. That's what we're looking for. All right. So that's on the little thing you do matters, right? You say, the king can buy so many crowns, but why the crown is attractive is because of the attribute of the crown, the color, and the how the gift is being presented. And he has an effect. He has an effect on his psyche, right? Shall no more be paid. And look who are among you to be in our court. Let them be controlled, and let there be peace between us. Thus the yoke of the heathen was taken away from Israel in the 170th year. Right? The 70th year. So you got to know how to deal when you're a governor. That's why the Most High put things here. He didn't just put them there just to put them. It's to use them, but use them righteously accordingly. Because things happen through people. The Most High do things through people. Right? As we can see, the Most High didn't roll a rock and make the rock make its way to the king's palace, and then the rock talk to him. He create all kinds of things, all kind of, artifact, or all kinds of precious things conducive for whatever occasion. So use it, but not abuse it for the benefit of the people. That's what resources should be for. any resource for the benefit of the people, not for the benefit of a few, people, and confiscate it, the thing, and make a shortage out there, or creates a false sense of shortage out there, right? So the key things here is in 41. Thus the yoke of the heathen was taken away from Israel in the 170th year. So the yoke was taken off Israel. All that was for the yoke to be taken off Israel. Verse 42. Then the people of Israel began to write in their instruments and contracts in the first year of Simon, the high priest, the governor and leader of the Jews. Right? So now, for example, once the year start, he was officially appointed. But now when people write letters now, his name was on it as the official person, official governor of the Jews. Now it's official. So when they start to write contract, dealings with other people, and things like that, his name would be there. Such as like when you have the treasury note, the money that you have in your pocket, when a new secretary of treasury is appointed, it takes the time, then you see his signature on that note. And that note signify that this man is he signed on it. Now it's legal tender, you can do business, you can trade. Right? So Simon was officially enacted in those documents of contracts of dealings with people, so that it was officially the governor. In those days, Simon came against Gaza and besieged it round about. He made also an engine of war and set it by the city, and battered a certain tower and took it. Right? Even though we're dealing with the scriptures, everything must be done orderly. Right? Verse 44. And they that were in the engine leaped into the city, whereupon there was a great uproar in the city. So Simon came against Gaza and besieged it around about. He made also an engine of war and set it by the city, and battered a certain tower and took it. And they that were in the engine, whereupon there was a great uproar in the city. So he surrounded with troops. The people that were in the engine of war, they leaped out. Right? So sort of like what we see today, right? We see you can have like a truck, right? You have a truck, and the truck can have so many soldiers inside of it, and it's all closed up, right? And then you see the truck driving the city. Next thing you know, you see a bunch of soldiers come out of it, right? But at that time, we know we didn't have the engine, like the engine, right? So they had their way of building their own way of their own trucks, so to speak, right? Their own way of carrying, people, whether they do it with horses and build a house on top of it and people hide inside of it, and that was their way, and that was their engine of war. Right now, through industrialism and things, now we have engines, now we have plane, we have all kinds of stuff to carry the soldiers. Right? They did it with elephants. Right? They use what they have at that time, to create their own engine of war. Right? You could say that was a innovative way at that time of bringing, way to carry the soldiers at large number, right? From point A to point B. Right? And so much as the people, their clothes, and climb upon the wall with their wives and children, and cry with a loud voice, beseeching Simon to grant them peace. Right? So at that time, it's like it's a scary stuff, because you see something you have not seen before. Right? It's not common, and then you see a bunch of people come out of it, and they're ready to destroy. Right? People, they were afraid, so they cried for succor for Simon to grant them peace. Right? So this was Simon technology. Right? So now you have old technology, now you have new technology. Right? There's no such thing as high tech. It's old technology and new technology. Right? You want to read something?
No, sometimes, we're talking about battles and things like that. I was reading some of these militaries they use, and some of they look to the battles in the Bible, and they use some of those things in today's technology.
Right.
What they say, because they see the battles, or we have a lot of battles in the Bible.
Right.
And they see a strategy. It's still useful.
Right.
You see, like I say, they send messengers from, one group to the other group.
Right.
The negotiation and things like that.
Right. All right, so let's read on. And they said, deal not with us according to our wickedness. So they acknowledge they are wicked. And they knew that that's what Simon came for, to destroy them for their wicked ways. He said, deal not with us according to their wickedness, but according to thy mercy. They beg for mercy. So Simon appears towards them against them, but put them out of the city, and cleanse the house wherein the idols were, and so enter into it songs and thanksgiving. Right? So he cleans it, and they enter into thanksgiving. But Simon should have killed all of them for wickedness, because once you send them away, they're gonna go and do the wicked somewhere else, and eventually it's gonna creep right back in. Right? So yea, he put all uncleanness out of it, and placed such men there as would keep the law, and made it stronger than it was before, and built therein a dwelling place for himself, for us to keep our covenant. It's all about the covenant. It's about the law. It's all about the contract. All about the contract. They also of the tower in Jerusalem were kept so straight that they could neither come forth nor go into the country, nor buy nor sell. Wherefore they were in great distress for want of victuals, and great number of them perished through famine. Then cried they to Simon, beseeching him to be at one with them, which thing he granted them. And when he had put them out from thence, he cleansed the tower from pollutions. Right? He cleansed the tower from being polluted. Verse 51. And enter into it in the 23rd day of the second month, in the 107th year, with thanksgiving and branches of palm tree, and with harps and cymbals, and with viols and hymns and songs, because there was destroyed a great enemy out of Israel. He ordained also that that day should be kept every year with gladness. Moreover, the hill of the temple that was by the tower he made stronger than it was, and there he dwelt himself with his company. And when Simon saw that John, his son, was a valiant man, he made him captain of all the hosts, and he dwelt in Gaza. Paul with the son, and he saw that he could be useful to Israel, then he appointed him. He appointed him based on merit, right? Based on competence, not because he was his son. There's a difference to appoint, your family into a position if they are competent for that position. And you see to this day, people just put their kids into position. They don't know what the heck they're doing. But just because they are in the family, they just appointed. But he appointed his son John because his son was a valiant man. He made him captain, so his resume was ready, and he appointed him. All the hosts and dwell in Gaza. Okay. So that concludes chapter 13. We'll take a break. We'll reconvene at 1:36 to finish off chapter 14. All right. So stay blessed, and we'll see each other again in the next half hour.